Welcome by a new episode. In this episode, I'll share with you several ideas to impress your event audience. These ideas come from several event professionals and have been collected in this episode for you to listen to and to implement for your events. So, my name is Jane and I'm your host for this podcast. I'm a growth hacker for Eventify, and I use this podcast to help you create the best possible event possible. Let's first start off with event engagement. What is it? What is it exactly? So, event engagement is the art of captivating and compelling your event attendees. You can hold their attention right from the start until the very end. But it involves a couple of strategies and techniques, and that will create immersive and interactive experiences for your attendees. So these experiences will encourage participation, will encourage interaction, and they will make sure that your audience is actively involved in your events. So there's this report that's a Bizarro report from 2020, and it says that over 80% of business-to-business marketing professionals consider attendee engagement as an important key performance indicator, so as a KPI for determining success of an event. So it's extremely important. Marketing professionals, over 80% say that they agree that it is a KPI for your event to measure your success. So it's important to professionals. But overall, engagement is something that will help you captivate and inspire and activate your attendees. So, engaging events, they do not only leave a lasting impression, but they also increase the likelihood of satisfaction of your attendees and also participation from them for your future events. And that's what you want, right? That's a win-win-win situation if you would ask me. So now that we understand engagement, let's explore how we can actually create user or attendee engagement and how we can implement this into our events. So when you want to implement engagement in your events, you can think of implementing that in the three phases of event planning. So there's your preparation pre-event, there's the actual event itself, and then there's the post-event that you can also apply some strategies for active engagement of your attendees. I will start off with the pre-event strategies that you can use, and I will share 5 strategies that you can implement. So the first one is maximize event communications. Make it easy for your attendees and potential attendees to communicate with you and your event planning team. So how do you do that? How do you make it easy? Well, be on social media. Make sure that you respond promptly to their questions. Make sure that they don't have to wait long and that there's an active team answering their questions. Send your attendees regular reminders. It's easy to forget that something is coming up. People just like the reminding aspect of emails, even though they don't read them. Just put it in your subject, and people already know, oh, yeah, this event is coming up soon, like in 2 days or in 10 days or 2 weeks. You can also provide clear instructions for signing up and for updates that are coming up as well. So make sure that people know how they can find the ways to stay up to date about all the things that are going to happen in your events. You can think of people who are going to speak there, activities that you are planning, maybe even the menu of the food that people can eat. So think of ways to communicate that to your future attendees and update them regularly as well. Then you can also provide or offer SMS updates. There is 75% of consumers are open to receiving text updates from brands and events that they have opted in for. So I would say definitely use this tool if you can to send your attendees text messages, because we all know that email piles up, but your text in your phone is always close to you. You can just open your phone and there's a text message, and you can easily reach your attendees, but also better reach them. The next strategy that you can implement is prepare and market event registration. So outline the entire registration process in detail. including the registration opening and closing dates, as well as the availability of tickets and spaces. So you can consider running different registration promotions, such as early bird tickets, or like early bird, or maybe take a friend ticket, and then ensure that the registration process goes smoothly. And also communicate it clearly. Communicate clearly if you're offering promotions, when they are activated and when they end. The third thing is something that you can do easily is utilize social media. Social media is a powerful marketing tool, and you can not include it anymore. You have to include it in your event planning and in your marketing. So the following thing you can do is create or utilize social media. And what I mean by that, if you want to engage with your future attendees, create something like a Facebook event page. So you can invite the people there, maybe even more people that are your target audience, and start promoting your event there. Start giving updates there. Share something that sparks a conversation or interaction. And what you also can do there is share videos, like high resolution videos on there as well. But not only on Facebook, you could also use it on your own channel. For example, on your Instagram channel or your LinkedIn channel. And there you can again like provide event updates, exclusive behind the scene content. Just see where your audience is and what content they like to see, and yeah, cater it or make it more personal based on what channel they're using. Also, one that can very much help is make it easy for your audience to register directly for your event through your social media channel that you're using at the time. So instead of sending them to a web page, just make sure that they can directly sign up for your event. The fourth thing that you could do, the fourth strategy for creating engagement, is coordinate a countdown. Have you ever heard of FOMO, the fear of missing out? Well, you can create fear of missing out definitely in the pre-planning phases of your event. So how can you create a FOMO? You can highlight the benefits and unique experiences your attendees will gain from signing up to your events and from being present on your event, from being there. So you can create a sense of urgency and excitement and eventually engagement by sharing a lot of interesting things, but also by running a countdown campaign. There's only like 5 days left to register, and the deadline approaches, or until we only have like 100 tickets left, and then have a countdown until there's a zero, and people will miss out on the opportunity to attend your event. The fifth strategy, and the last one for the pre-event phase, is listen to your audience. So you're using your social media, and people are talking there. So pay attention to the conversations that are happening there on your Facebook event page, or maybe on your under a post on Instagram, or a reel over there, um, and make sure that they can actually interact with each other. Maybe you're using Telegram or WhatsApp or other platforms where they can interact with each other. Just be there, be present, answer their questions, or um, answer anything that might be unclear to people, and then take note of the topics that they are discussing right there and the questions they ask, because you can either provide feedback, as I said, or you could use that for your prepping, for the preparation for your event. So in the end, you will gain a deeper understanding of your target audience and what they want, and you can tailor that to your event, and you can market accordingly to that. So that's actually a very good strategy that you can implement, and that will definitely not only create engagement, but also make sure that you can please the people who are coming, and you can satisfy their needs and desires. Let's move on to the next phase. So the engagement strategies that you can use during your event. The first one is kick off with high energy entertainment or an icebreaker. So you could think of a celebrity performance if there is a budget. You can think of a physical exercise. People have to get up and maybe have to greet each other or stretch, I don't know, something like that, or a breathing exercise to get really present in the room. This will actually set the tone for the event, and it will also create an energetic atmosphere that encourages people for participation and yeah, just be actively present. The second strategy that you can add is pay attention to audience energy and participation during the event. So monitor the energy of participation levels of your audience throughout your entire event. And then make sure there is a mix of activities and strategies in there that maintain engagement for the people, for your attendees, especially if your event is longer. Make sure there is not only just passively sitting, listening to people, but there's also maybe some workshops or more scheduled breaks or something like that. Encourage interaction and communication among attendees to foster a sense of community and involvement. That will definitely help people with feeling more actively involved in your event. The third one is create seating arrangements that promote engagement. Instead of placing people in rows behind each other, you can create different seating arrangements for people to be more engaged. Maybe you don't even want them to sit. Maybe you want them to sit on the floor. Maybe you want bar stools. You can think of many different things. Um, but you have to think of arrangement that encourage people to either have person to person conversations or to collaborate or to actively engage in your the keynote speaker, for example. So there is space and there is seating arrangements for networking, or so maybe that's like open space or open seated arrangement. And then there could also be more structured arrangement where you actually put people next to each other, specifically next to each other, to make sure that they can network or they can work on something with their different backgrounds. So then you are looking for more like a structured assigned seating arrangement. So you can definitely like be creative here and see whatever works for every single part of the event that you have scheduled. The fourth strategy that you can use to create more engagement in your attendees during the event is include participatory activities. It seems straightforward, but you cannot imagine how many people forget this because it's so much easier to put someone on the stage and have people listen. But no, let's get people up and let's get them moving. Challenge them with pop quizzes or team events or games that promote healthy competition. And if there is some competition, make sure that at the end of the day there's like some prizes or something to win, so people will actually do their best and they will participate. And make those prizes interesting, like something that people want to have, and that's something that they just that yeah, nah, look, I want this, and then they'll just put it somewhere else and they throw it out or something like that. That's not necessarily environmentally friendly, which is another episode that we worked on, how to make your event eco-friendly. But so make sure there's an interesting prize that people want to win, and then announce the winners at the end of the day, so people also want to stick until the end if they actively participated. And the last one, number five, for engaging your audience during the event is measure engagement live. And there are actually event apps that can help you do that. You can track that real life. You can actually see if people are participating there, where they are. There are a lot of analytics, and if you're looking for such an app, you can use Eventify. There you can find things like content updates, social media activities, live polls that you can use during your sessions, or trivia questions that people can answer and they can actually view live on their phones. They can vote, things like that. It's all visible either through a screen or through their app like Eventify. And this not only will keep attendees engaged, but also provide valuable data for you on overall attendee participation. So as I said, if you don't have an app, consider Eventify as your event planning app because it will definitely have these kinds of features on it that you can use. Then lastly, the post-event engagement strategies. The first thing you can do is send thank you notes. This could be either an email or a paper note to make it even more personal. And just thinking of like sending a simple gesture of appreciation that can leave an impression and an everlasting memory, and it can make feel your attendees valued, and that's what people actually always want. They want to feel valued. So send that easy thank you note for them that they participated, and you could always add a little bit of promotion for your next event. And that brings me to my next strategy, which is start marketing the next event. So take advantage of the momentum that you created and promote your next event that's coming up. You could offer exclusive discounts or early bird tickets or anything that can motivate people to sign up already. And that not only shows again that you value them and show and appreciate them, but you can also build some anticipation for the next events, and it shows that you want them back because you like them as the attendees of your recent event. The next one that I want to suggest is request feedback through surveys. If you send out a survey, mostly through email, so it's an online survey, make sure it's concise and ask relevant questions. Make it short so people don't have to fill out a survey for 10 minutes of their day. Just ask for something very specific and personal. Make it about their favorite or least favorite parts of the event, in terms of like what you scheduled, guests, food, anything like also maybe how they experience the engagement factors that you try to build in, or maybe the logistics, things like that. The fourth one I want to share with you is share event highlights. Everybody wants to check if they're on a photo or on a video or not. So create a highlight reel or create an album of photos of the best moments of the event and share it with your attendees. So capture all the footage, make sure it looks slick and nice, and create it online and share it online with the people either on that Facebook event page that you created, or maybe you can create a post-event Facebook group that people can become part of, where you exclusively share all the photos and videos that you took, so it's not visible for everywhere, for everyone on the internet. So it's up to you how you can coordinate, how you want to coordinate this, but make sure there's actually something to see after the event so people can still enjoy the event or maybe look for their faces on an event photo. And then lastly is number 5, encourage social media engagement. So encourage your attendees during the event to share their experiences, to share photos on their social media. Create or not only during the event but also post event, create a hashtag that people can use and put in their posts, so you can also track it as well and easily view their posts and maybe even reshare it. People like to be reshared with others as well. And yeah, gather that information as well. See what people like, what they're proud of, because it will give you again insights of what people valued in your events and what they might want to see in the next event as well. And then also you can promote online discussions and encourage attendees to provide feedback and share their event photos as well on your social media channel, instead of you only sharing the photos that you took. So now you might be thinking, but what about a virtual event? So here are some five strategies that you can use for your virtual event. Firstly, you can choose the right virtual event software. That's very important because you want to select virtual event software that suits your event specific requirements. Look for features such as like high resolution live streaming, message board, chat rooms, breakout rooms that definitely facilitate interaction and engagement, because that's what we're talking about today. Secondly, you can set clear rules of engagements. So explain all the features to the people that are in your online event, and explain all the features that are in the software so people know what they can expect, what they can do, how they can communicate. So it could be chat options, how they can mute themselves, how they can unmute themselves, maybe how they can use a video or not, how the video streaming is working, how they can attend, things like that. Just make sure it's a virtual event. People want to know like what they can expect, what the software can do, and what they can do themselves to be actively engaged. And then also clearly outline which sections of the events will be participatory and which one will not, and how attendees can seek personal or tech support or ask questions. The third strategy is schedule regular breaks, because you can create a lot of Zoom fatigue or any fatigue, it doesn't have to be Zoom, during a virtual event. It can be definitely mentally taxing. So we have to schedule frequent breaks and clearly communicate when those breaks are coming up and when or how long the breaks are going to be. The duration of the breaks is important as well. So say, okay, we're going to be offline now for like 15 minutes. It means come back at 10:15 a.m., for example, to log on again and then enjoy the rest of the event. The fourth one is incorporate interactive activities. Again, online events can be mentally exhausting, so you have to mix things up a little bit and include some interactive activities like small group discussions or team exercises to keep people engaged. Provide, provide opportunities for attendees to express their thoughts and engage with other people, person to person or in a group throughout the event, so they can feel that they're actually involved in the events and they're not passively listening behind their laptops or computers and not participating at all. So make sure there are some discussion moments and breakout rooms, if you will. The last strategy for virtual events is ensure reliable tech support. This is extremely important because technical issues can hinder engagement massively. I don't know if you ever attended a virtual event and there was a technical issue and you're like, I don't know how to fix this. You know what? It's so much easier to press that X and do something else to make use of your time in a better way. And I can totally understand that. So make sure if there is a technical issue that there is somebody, a support team that can instantly reply to these people and help them fix the issue. It could be through various channels like chat or email or social media, but just make sure that you communicate that channel and make sure that there's somebody actually ready to help the person with the technical issue. And that all sums it up for the engagement strategies, either in offline events or virtual events. If you liked this podcast, give us a thumbs up or subscribe. And if you have a question, just drop it or send us an email at Eventify. Thank you for listening.